I've come to appreciate good backpacking clothing. Now, that wasn't always the case. For years, I would buy cheap clothing and I would continue to have those clothing fail or simply get cold or not do the things that they needed to do. I never really focused on them. What I would focus on was my big three: my tent, my backpack, and my sleeping system. As I've kind of gotten beyond that and found the things that work for me, I've focused more on maybe number 4, or is that the sleeping pad? If it's number 4 or number 5, it would have to be clothing is something that's important for backpacking. And so you have to have good materials. I came across the Appalachian Gear 80/20 Sun Hoodie and the 80/20 AGT. In fact, Appalachian Gear sent me this t-shirt and this Appalachian Gear 80/20 Sun Hoodie. And I realized there is a difference in backpacking clothing. So who is Appalachian Gear? Well, they're a small cottage vendor out of Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Two guys that started the company, Mike Hawkins and John Gage. They started this company because they were in the textile business for 25 years or so. And as they got into it and saw that all the resources and manufacturing were moving offshore, they came back to Kings Mountain, North Carolina, and started Appalachian Gear Company to bring back the textile industry to that North Carolina area. And they have created a wonderful product in the backpacking industry. Everybody knows in this kind of niche of backpacking about Appalachian Gear because of their Appalachian Gear hoodie. The original hoodie was 100% alpaca wool. Now they wanted to move further and do an 80/20 version of a hoodie and a t-shirt and some other products. And so they have added tinsel, or a tree or plant-based textile fabric that can be combined into the alpaca wool, which I have found to be extremely valuable in the backcountry. I did my research by looking at their videos on their website and on their YouTube channel that give a lot of the questions and answers of why alpaca wool is a strong fabric, a durable fabric, a quick dry fabric, and basically warmer than merino wool. Alpaca wool is extremely warm. I think besides, and I may get this right, besides polar bear wool, and I don't think you want to mess with a polar bear to get its wool, the alpaca wool is extremely warm because it is hollow inside and allows for its lightness and allows for it to absorb more water, and it's less dense, but it also is extremely warm when you put it on, and so it carries that warmth. But because it is hollow and has a softer grid to it, then it can absorb wind a little bit. So sometimes it's best to have a wind shell over it. It's also temperature regulating because it is a lighter fabric than merino wool. It is very dry wicking, and so it can absorb water and still hold its warmth. One of the main advantages of alpaca wool is that it is antimicrobial. So you don't have to worry as much about washing the fabric. I think it's perfect for a long through hike because you can go days and days and days without washing it. This weft knitting, it is a single thread that runs on itself and causes a great deal of durability in the fabric. So if you do poke a hole in it, it will not run throughout the fabric. And you can feel that grid and that weft horizontal pattern that goes across it. This is the Sun Hoodie, and what I have on is the AG 80/20T. Both are made of the 80% alpaca, 20% tinsel, and I was very pleased by getting both of these from Appalachian Gear as they sent them to me because it is a great combination of a t-shirt and then a sun hoodie that goes on top for multiple reasons. First, because of the warmth, and second, because you can layer it, take one off, and then just go with the t-shirt as you get warmer, or put this on for lower temperatures, but also for sun protection because this is the long sleeve. They make the t-shirt, I think, in the long sleeve as well, but I have the short sleeve t-shirt, and then they make the long sleeve hoodie, and it has a hood on it. It doesn't have a drawstring or drawstrings on the bottom or the arms, but it is a really good fit and a little stretchy, but not too stretchy. In fact, it fits extremely well and extremely like a regular fit. Not that you have to buy one that's too big or too small. It's about what you would think. I usually wear a large, and I bought a large, and it fits me exactly the way I would want it to fit with my shoulders, and gives me a little room in the stomach area, so if I want to grow a little bit there. If you turn the Sun Hoodie inside out, you can see what Appalachian Gear has done with something they call a trail seam. You can see just how much quality is given in this seam. It almost looks double, triple stitched in the seam, which is something that they are proud of, and they mentioned that on their website, that the trail seam, as they call it, is durable, and all these seams look like they disappear so that you can deal with abrasions. You can also deal with the backpack straps and things, and it's not going to rip or tear the seams and create problems for you with your fabric and with your hoodie or your t-shirt on the trail. Alpaca wool is quick drying, and that is extremely important for in the backcountry, because as soon as you get something wet, you want it to dry as quick as possible. So alpaca wool, because of the density of the fabric, and I don't know all the science behind it, but I have noticed that as I've worn it, gotten it wet just from the rain or other things, that it dries very quickly. And because of that, that makes it a really good product to have for backpacking. As far as the weight of the fabric and the weight of the Sun Hoodie or the t-shirt, when I looked at the Sun Hoodie, it comes in between 7 and 11 ounces. The extra small or small comes in at 7 ounces, and the extra large, I think, comes in at 11 ounces. So this came in at around 8 ounces. So an incredible weight for the ratio of weight to warmth that you get in an alpaca fabric. Now, their fabric is ethically sourced. They get their yarn from their partners in Peru at Appalachian Gear, and they send it to them, and they make sure they're certified with ethically sourced materials, and they deal with the animals ethically. And that's important, I think, to most backpackers, that you want to know that they're not mistreating animals as they get their wool from them. Now, all of their fabric and all of their clothing, the Sun Hoodie, the hoodie, all the things that they make are in the United States. They get the yarn from Peru, and they put together and manufacture in their textile mill in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. And it's not an automated company, so they make smaller batches. So it's not a big company that just makes large amounts of products. They want to make sure that the small batches of the things that they make, so you know what you're getting is a very good quality. Also, it's important to know kind of how to take care of these fabrics. So the Sun Hoodie can be washed. It is usually washed inside out, usually on cold water, and it can be dried, but they usually say just to air dry for the first 4 or 5 times. But what I've seen is, I've carried this in the backcountry several times, it simply just doesn't get stinky like my other clothes. I came back from a backpacking trip on a synthetic fabric, one of these polyester things that has a lot of spandex in it and stretchable, and I found that fabric really stinks after a while. But the alpaca wool and the tencel combination of this particular Sun Hoodie and t-shirt seem to not hold bacteria, and that's why they say they're antimicrobial, so they just don't stink that much. Lastly, I would tell you to check out Appalachian Gear's website. They've got some incredible product. Gaiters, they've got even a sleeping bag liner. They've got, of course, the original hoodie that is amazing. Also, they have beanies, they have the t-shirts, they have all sorts of things on the website. You can get these in multiple colors. I think that the t-shirt has the extra color of black. I think I have that right. And the Sun Hoodie has the extra color of magenta or something. No, I got that wrong. The Sun Hoodie also has the extra color of cranberry. So really cool colors. I like this light blue color, and I really like the olive green color. That's, you know, kind of in my color wheel, I guess you can say, if I have a color wheel. Most of my stuff is very neutral. but they have several colors that you can choose from on the website and find the color that's right for you. So please check out Appalachian Gear, as I have done many videos on cottage vendors, and this has always been one of my favorites. So when they reached out to me and said, hey, will you take a look at the Sun Hoodie and the t-shirt, I was like, absolutely, because I've seen other people that have had these and have rave reviews about them, and just how durable they are and how quality made they are. And of course, Appalachian Gear is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of As the Crow Flies Hiking. I hope you'll check out Appalachian Gear Company and their website and their videos on YouTube and on their site that will answer a lot of questions for you about just how much quality, time, and effort goes in to a cottage gear company like Appalachian Gear. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. I will see you on the next adventure of As the Crow Flies Hiking.